I don't know anyone in their mid-40s who hasn't experienced things like challenges, grief, sadness, or trauma. Maybe it's been a challenging relationship. Maybe you've had to make a really difficult career decision. Maybe you've had to overcome some really challenging health problems. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 years ago, things were pretty great in my life. I had an awesome relationship with my husband. I was super focused on my children. I had a really successful career, and I was doing really good things to hire and train my employees. I was involved with Hike Like a Woman. I was guiding trips. I was teaching cross-country ski lessons. I was working out. I was paying attention to what I was eating. My life was really full and things were really good in my life. But then I got diagnosed with cancer and it felt like everything went wrong. My whole world was turned upside down, and all of a sudden this vessel that was really full of all of these awesome things that I was doing was really empty and sad and lonely, and I was just all alone trying to navigate this world of cancer and life after cancer. If you're like me, there's probably been a time in your life when everything has felt good and when your cup has felt full and when good things just seem to happen, and then all of a sudden something happens and you're left with just emptiness. Today I just want to share 3 things that I've been really focused on just as I've been trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered life and fill my cup up again. I'm sharing this because maybe your life hasn't been impacted by cancer, but chances are you've been through something else that's challenging, traumatic, and difficult. And I think that these strategies can help no matter where you are in your life right now. The very first thing that I started to do as I was coming out of this cancer fog was to create movement in my life. I was stuck in this I'm sick mindset, stuck in this I'm a cancer patient mindset, and the only way for me to get unstuck from that mentality was to move my body. It sounds really weird, but I had to move my body so that I could get out of my mind. I had to tell myself, okay, cancer happened. I don't know why. I don't need to know why, but it happened, and I need to move it on out of my body and out of my mind. So I did that by starting small. I started by going walks around the block because that's all I had the strength and energy for. Those walks around the block turned to walks around my neighborhood. Those walks around the neighborhood turned into walking a mile. That mile turned into 2 miles. Those 2 miles turned into 3 miles. And eventually those miles turned to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. As I was trying to move this negative cancer energy through my body and out of my mind, I came to accept a few things about my own reality. And if you've had cancer, you're always worried about cancer coming back again. And one thought that kept coming back to my mind was this constant fear of cancer returning. I just came to this acceptance where I don't know if cancer is going to come back, and I don't really need to know. But now that I've created movement in my body and in my mind, I know that if cancer does return, I will have the momentum to push through it. And that's not just with cancer, that could be with anything in our lives. If we just create momentum, then we can push through whatever challenges are going to come up next. The second thing that I did was realize that I wasn't alone. I think when we go through traumatic situations, it can be very isolating. We're either the kind of person that wants everyone to come over and we want to share our experience with everyone, or we want to push people away from us. We don't want to bring people into this challenge that we're going through. I was the kind of person that pushed away everything. I felt like I just needed to suffer alone. I put up these walls around me and I did not let anyone break through the walls. And that's fine. That's just how I coped with that specific challenge in my life. But as I was coming out of cancer treatment, I realized that a lot of my relationships had changed because I'd put up these barricades and I hadn't let my friends in. So the second thing that I did was try to realize, okay, A lot has changed about me, a lot has changed with my friendships, but who do I want to be friends with? I made a big effort to reestablish the friendships that had been put on pause while I was in treatment, and to make new friends with women who I felt like would understand what I had just been through. I don't know about you, but it's really hard to be a friend as an adult. I think when we're children, it's much easier to just have friends with whoever we're sitting next to at lunch or playing with at recess. But as an adult, it's so different because there's a million things going on and we're all so busy and we're rushing and we got work stuff and family stuff and kid stuff and blah, 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 blah. And it's easy to put those relationships and those friendships kind of on the back burner and just let them simmer. But I wanted friendships that were on fire, friendships that are deep, and friendships where I have real connection with other people. And this was hard, but one thing that I did that might help if you're in a similar situation is once a week, I just decided I was gonna text or call a friend and I was gonna say, let's go grab coffee or let's go get lunch. And I have made a deliberate effort the past couple of years to just connect with a friend once a week. In person is best, but if it's just a text message because there's a lot going on, that's fine. But one friend a week, I try to get coffee or I try to get lunch and just make sure that I'm connecting on a deeper level with these friends. And some beautiful friendships have emerged by having the courage to kind of just put myself out there in the friendship world. And I've developed really good friendships, especially with one woman who's also a veteran and also a breast cancer survivor. As I'm moving forward with my life and moving forward knowing that I'm gonna have more challenges in the future, these are friends that I'm not gonna wanna push away, but friends that I'm gonna let come in and come through those walls. They're special friendships to me because they are friendships that I've made a deliberate effort to cultivate. And it's not just me. Friendship's a two-way street. And so it's also other women in my life reaching out to go to coffee or to go on a walk or to go skiing or to grab lunch. The third thing that I've done that's really helped me bounce back has been to set a really, really big goal. I'm not talking about a goal to make dinner for my family every night or a goal to lose 20 pounds. I'm talking about a really big goal. For me, that goal was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and having the goal to climb and to stand on the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro was something that I needed, because as I was trying to move forward with my life, I needed to have something to look forward to, because as I was moving forward and creating that momentum in my life, I needed to have something that would really propel me to the top, something to be excited about, something to talk about, and also something to give me purpose and meaning and reason. I needed to show myself that I was still strong, that I was still capable, that I was competent, and that I can choose to do hard things. Because with cancer, I didn't choose cancer. Cancer chose me, right? If you're going through a difficult situation, chances are you didn't choose that. It chose you. But by choosing a big goal, it helps propel us forward along the path. It helps to show us what we can do despite what we've been through. The other thing with setting a big goal was I kept repeating this whole cancer narrative in my head over and over and over again. I just kept repeating this negative experience, these negative thoughts, these negative emotions. And by setting a big goal and having something to work toward, it helped me focus on setting this positive narrative and replaying this positive experience in my mind. The positive experience of following a training plan for Kilimanjaro, the positive experience of going shopping to buy new gear, the positive experience of meeting these women in person who had only connected with online and climbing Kilimanjaro together, the positive experience of standing on the summit with my guide, John, and being so grateful to be there and to be healthy and to be strong and to have John on my side, who'd been my cheerleader for 5 days as we'd been climbing together. The positive experience of coming down from the mountain and being so tired, but having the energy and the strength to put my backpack back on my back and head down the mountain. The positive experience of our final dinner with our guides and some of our porters, and drinking wine and singing and celebrating and sharing this accomplishment with each other. The positive experience of sitting in an airport with 3 other women who had just been on that mountain with me and connecting on such a personal and deep level as we talked about what we had just been through. Then there's the positive experience of sharing phone calls and DMs and text messages with women who are on the climb with me. The positive experience of getting ready to climb the mountain again. The positive experience of being excited to take another group of women to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. That positive energy from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro has replaced so much of those negative feelings and that negative energy that I felt when I was diagnosed with cancer. When it comes to cancer, there's people that call themselves a cancer survivor. To me, that's fine. I survived cancer, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Some people say they're cancer thrivers, and to me that's a little bit too peppy and optimistic and cheerleader. I'm not a cancer thriver. I did not thrive through cancer treatment. I am not thriving after cancer. I still have a lot of really dark days. So now I've just reframed it. And the way that I've reframed that is to say, I am someone who lived through cancer, because that's the truth. I don't have to paint it this bubblegum pink and be happy about it, and I don't have to be negative and depressed about it. I can just proudly say that I lived through cancer. And no matter what you're going through right now, whatever challenge you are facing, you're doing it. You can create momentum. You can build a strong community of people who are going to support you and lift you up, especially on those days when you're feeling down, and you can set a big goal. And if Kilimanjaro is your goal, you should climb Kilimanjaro with us, because we're taking another group up this August and it's going to be amazing, and you can totally do it. If I can do it, you can do it. That's all I will say about climbing Kilimanjaro. As you can see right now, my cup does not look as full as it did before cancer, but that's okay, because I've also created space to explore new things, to explore new opportunities, to explore new possibilities, space to sit down and hold my child when he's feeling sad or lonely, space to go out to dinner with my husband on a random Tuesday night, space to get on the phone and talk to a friend who's feeling sad or lonely, space to call my mom and say, hey mom, what you doing right now? I don't need to have all of these extra things in my life, because right now I have movement, I have community, and I have a goal. I have a purpose. Anyway, this is totally random, but this is what's on my mind today, so I'm going to talk about it. And the YouTube algorithm might not like it. I don't really know, but I think that you should go check out this video next.